Hey, welcome to the Thanksgiving Game Dungeon episode. Sort of. I haven't had a Thanksgiving episode before. That's because I usually don't have a great fit. I mean, when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of pilgrims, Indians, and turkey. And while there are some games that touch on those, none have really jumped out at me so far to make an episode on them. So I don't have a turkey for you, but I do have a vulture. So that's just gonna have to do instead. Hey, who knows? It might even be a turkey vulture. And I'm afraid I don't have a feast for you either. Unlike the past few episodes, which have been full-course meals, this one is more like a fortune cookie, except I don't understand what the message inside means. So let's try and figure it out. And with that, I present to you Harry Buster.
I'm Buster. Harry Buster.
I'm Ross. This is Ross's Game Dungeon. Okay, so we have a grooving business vulture from the looks of things. I like how he has a portable golf putter set.
I have known a lot of misery with a stroke of ingenuity. I made up my own philosophy. My limit is the sky. I enjoy a good security. Try to be the bird of quality. Harry Buster, here's a prodigy. I'm always aiming high.
Okay, so
Harry Buster.
Jesus.
I'll never catch a fallen knife. I'll never gamble with my life. My name is Harry Buster. I am Harry Buster.
All right, we're hitting the ground running in this episode. I'm not used to seeing a sing-along right in your face as soon as the game starts.
I control a rich economy. Stocks and shares for all humanity.
Right.
There's enough to go for charity, trying to make new friends. You may live beyond morality. I just live in a reality. Love my work and all society, watching for all the trends.
This is a German game, by the way. Okay, I think we're done now. Wow, so that's a bold decision. I'm not sure I've ever seen that in a game before. I mean, maybe some edutainment games have a sing-along right in the menu, but that's a different circle than I run in. Nope, the song loops. Okay, I may just idle here a bit. I don't want to hear it again. In fact, this is giving me flashbacks to another sing-along I saw a while back about Lindos, which was some sort of distribution of Linux skinned to look more like Windows.
Every Lindo's boy and girl, all around the Lindo's world, gonna do the Lindo's rock, all around the Lindo's clock. Build fierce Lindo's 'cause it's slick, adding software with one click, all around the Lindo's clock. Hey, let's do the Lindo's rock.
Yeah, you're not walking away from this episode without a song stuck in your head. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, okay, they got sued by Microsoft, so much for that. Anyway, before we start, let's take a look at these lyrics a second. So Harry Buster, I think, is a stocks trading vulture. He made up his own philosophy. Yeah, sure you did, Harry. He doesn't say what that is, but he has no limits and he aims high. Yeah, that doesn't sound too profound to me, but let's keep going. Okay, so he never takes really risky stock trades and brags about how he's a prodigy. Fine, he's good at stock trading. And he controls the economy? Maybe? Is this what's happening down at the Fed? Yeah, stocks for all humanity. That got me curious what percentage of the globe owns stocks. For Americans, it's about half, which is higher than I thought, but globally, I bet it's nowhere near that high. Yeah, here we go. About 7% of China owns stocks. And this is some super rough research, but I saw one estimate saying less than 2.5% of India owns stocks. Uh-oh, better get them some stocks, Harry. There's enough to go to charity and make new friends. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but that sounds a little defensive to me. Like, look, I know I'm Gordon Gekko in feathers with my high-rise marble column office and gold bull statue, but I give some money to charity so people like me, all right? And I sing. And here's the part I just don't get. He says you may live beyond morality, but he lives in reality? So what's the message there? I don't think most people live beyond morality. Is he talking about other traders? Some of them might. But he's just keeping it real. So what does that mean? That you may think he's immoral, but he's just being real? Or I'm very confused on that part. While we're on the topic, that's actually my biggest issue with the game Beyond Good and Evil. For a game called Beyond Good and Evil, there's not much, if any, moral ambiguity in that game. It's about a woman running an orphanage and working with some talking animals to stop alien oppressors from taking over the world. You're clearly part of the good guys, and they're clearly the bad guys. I mean, it's a decent game, but it does not live up to that title. I mean, they're probably taking it from Nietzsche, right? Are we challenging the dogma in philosophy in that game? I don't think we are. Okay, I'm all over the place. Let's start the game. Who would want to play Beyond Good and Evil anyway? We're playing Harry Buster. Alright, the way this works is you're on the stock trading floor and you have to stop the vultures from terrorizing the brokers by throwing tomatoes at them. It's simple enough, but it gets harder because they'll swoop down and abduct the brokers. If you lose too many of them, then it's game over. Now, initially, I was bad at this, but then I realized I have a dot radar down at the bottom, which becomes essential. And there's a lot of sideways scrolling in this game. Sorry if this makes you sick. Yeah, rapid scrolling and sing-alongs. I really wasn't trying to make this a hell episode for you guys, but there's always a risk of things taking a turn for the worse on Game Dungeon. Now, you can't throw tomatoes at the brokers or you lose points. Though I'm not sure points mean anything. You also can't throw tomatoes at the bags of money, where in any other game that would be a bonus. Yeah, this is Wall Street. We only process clean money here. Sure we do. Now, it turns out only vultures in the air matter. If they're on the ground, they're considered safe. In fact, you get penalized for throwing tomatoes at vultures you've already taken out. So it's like paintball. It's interesting, though, that the game doesn't want you taking punitive measures against the vultures trying to terrorize people. Only just enough to stop them. Yeah, I can believe Wall Street doesn't like punitive actions in general. Anyway, getting off course. Guess who else you shouldn't hit? Yep, the man, Vulture himself, Harry Buster. He occasionally pops up holding a 1,000 point sign, except that means you lose 1,000 points. If you hit him, he just shakes his head at you, like he's so disappointed. What the hell is he even doing here to begin with? He's not trading, he's just staring at you. He's putting himself in the line of fire, then acting holier than thou when you hit him. I'm starting to not like Harry. Anyway, besides mastering the radar, I learned another trick that gives me an edge. A lot of vultures will flood out of one exit right at the start. So if you rapid fire at the beginning, it saves you a lot of grief later. That's actually not a bad metaphor for day trading. If you're first in line to make trades as soon as the market's open, that can give you an edge. Well, that's the ticket here, so on to level 2. Now the traders have put on Best Buy uniforms, it looks like. Step away from the Best Buy employee! That's better. And that's level 2. We get another outfit change, and now the men all wear smiley face lapel pins. It reminds me of the comedian from Watchmen. Anyway, the game keeps getting progressively harder, but I'm able to hack it until level 8, where I realize I have to change strategies. Before, I was trying to hone in and eliminate all the vultures. That's not going to be possible anymore. There are too many of them, and they take too many hits. Yeah, let's look at these vultures a second. The easy ones are named Harry Buster Jr., but all the others still have the same last name, Buster. In other words, this is Harry's family. You have to stop his family from destroying the stock market. No wonder he likes to stare at us. He wants to see what you'll do to his children. Somehow, Harry is the only exception of vultures trying to bring down the stock market. It raises the question, is Harry causing more good or harm here? Now, of course you can't blame someone for what their family members do, but he's the father of a lot of them. Who knows, maybe all of them. You can blame a parent for not keeping their kids in line. So whatever good Harry may be doing by giving to charity, does that offset the damage his entire bloodline is doing to the economy, many of which he sired and is letting run free? I don't know, but from level 8 onward, I abandoned any pretext of trying to contain the situation and only focus on the hostages now. Nothing else matters. I sometimes find myself blind firing towards the ceiling while I focus on the radar. You almost need a spotter to call out your tomato shots. So much is happening on the screen. Yeah, they're stealing money. Who cares? We need to focus on the hostages. And that brings me to the real mystery of this game, which is, who is this game for? Now, your first answer might be, oh, it's just some casual game for kids. Okay, well then why is this game about the stock market? Kids don't care about the stock market. Hell, most adults don't care about the stock market until they lose their jobs or retirement. There's only a million themes that would appeal to kids more than the stock market. And as I say this, I know somebody's going to bring up Wall Street Kid, because on the surface, that seems similar. Let's make a game about trading stocks for kids on the console. Well, yeah, that was kind of an odd decision too, but that came out in '89. It was still more Wild West with game design, where developers were figuring out what worked and what didn't. This came out in 2003. Or some big games in 2003. Max Payne 2, Warcraft 3 expansion, PlanetSide, Call of Duty. The games industry was in high gear by that time, and it had a good grasp of what demographics they were going after. So along comes Harry Buster, a game for kids about the stock market, in a box right next to those. Yeah, in a box. This was not some web game to play in your browser. No, this was a box copy sold in stores. Granted, German stores, but still, what the hell was the logic here? Okay, I found a translated wiki page about this, and I'm wrong. This is a Swiss game, but a German publisher. And it was an advertising game for T-Online. Remember that logo at the beginning? Well, that's a media company that has to be a subsidiary of T-Mobile, right? I mean, it's the same logo. But who are they advertising to? I mentioned it on the show before, but Need for Speed Most Wanted had great advertising for a phone company. Everybody uses singular in that, and it fit in just fine because it was a contemporary racing game where ads for phone companies are a normal thing in the real world. But Harry Buster, I feel like we have a game for kids about the stock market, paid money to publish copies of this in stores in order to advertise a phone service provider? Plenty of games will have a good idea, but just not find their market. Here, I don't even know what the market was. Maybe if your dad was the CFO at T-Mobile in 2003, then this game is for you, Todd. Come on. Oh, that saved! What was that noise? I don't know what that noise was. I really don't know how this happened. What was the pitch? How it got off the ground? I can't help but think that these vultures look like the ones from Donkey Kong Country. And hey, I can understand getting inspired by that game. It has great music, atmosphere, gameplay. I'm imagining some developers' dreams being crushed, wanting to work on a game like Donkey Kong Country, but they have to pay the bills and end up working on Harry Buster instead. Well, I'm getting crushed too. The vultures are showing me no quarter. It's a bloodbath now. I mean, tomato bath. I feel as though I've transcended into a tomato-tossing ninja, just doing everything I possibly can to bring these vultures down. I can feel myself getting battle fatigue, but it's still not enough. Once I hit level 18, there's a barrier I just can't get past. I keep losing brokers without seeing it. Game over. Now, the game does let you continue on the level you left off at, which is almost shockingly kind for this kind of game, but nope, I die and I die. Looking back at the instant replay, I see my problem. There's basically no time before the vulture grabs someone now and they're gone. If I'm on the wrong side of the screen when it happens, there's literally nothing I can do. There might be some high-level pattern I'm just not seeing to know which vultures to take down as soon as possible. In other words, I would somehow know to take that vulture down 10 seconds before he's actually a threat. But no, this game's not worth it. I'm cynical. I don't even think this game will have an end screen, even if I were to miraculously beat level 20. 18 is as far as I can make it without being condemned to play this game. And that is the game. Not much to it, but I still don't understand why it exists. As fortune cookies go, this is an elusive one. So, awards! I crashed the stock market. I'm sorry, everyone. I couldn't save it. There were too many vultures. They're coming for all of us. Maybe that's the lesson here. You know, he sings and trades, but I can't help but wonder if Harry's just an ill-fated omen of doom that wants to sell me phone service. Well, that's the episode. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully yours went better than with me and Harry here. And stay tuned for the Christmas episode. I wasn't able to save the stock market, but maybe I can save Christmas. That should be easier. Bye! Wow, 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 wow.